Hello there, I'm Libi and welcome to The Void. Today's sermon is brought to you by a dead man with zero chill and infinite confidence. We're talking about Socrates. Yes, the toga-wearing menace who got sentenced to death for being way too annoying. Athens, 399 BCE. Socrates is on trial. The official charges? Corrupting the youth and not believing in the gods of the city. The real crime? Making powerful people feel stupid in front of their friends. He spent his whole adult life asking questions like, what is justice? What is virtue? What is piety? And more importantly, do you actually know what you're talking about? Or did you just memorize some words and hope no one notices? Turns out, they noticed, and they hated it. Now Socrates has the chance to defend himself. This is the moment where most people would panic, grovel, maybe cry a little, offer to leave the town quietly. But no, Socrates steps up and says, "Look, I don't know anything, but at least I know I don't know anything, which makes me wiser than you." And then he gives a masterclass in philosophical sass. He tells a story about his friend visiting the oracle at Delphi, who said, "No one is wiser than Socrates." And instead of blushing and going ooh, he goes on a mission to prove the oracle wrong. He asks the poets, the craftsmen, the politicians, all the smart people of Athens, "What do you know?" Spoiler alert, they knew nothing. And every time he exposed their ignorance, they got really offended. Like, sue you offended. Which, to be fair, they eventually did. But here's the thing. Socrates doesn't just defend his actions. He doubles down on them. He calls himself a gadfly. That's right. A little divine insect sent by the gods to sting Athens out of its laziness and arrogance. He says, "If you get rid of me, you'll fall asleep again. You need me. Annoying, relentless, inconvenient me to keep you thinking." He calls himself a public servant, a moral compass, an unpaid, uninvited life coach, with absolutely no chill. And honestly, he's not wrong. He's just exhausting. The jury doesn't love that energy. They find him guilty. But Athens, in a bizarre twist of legal drama, lets the convicted suggest their own punishment. So, naturally, Socrates says, "I should be rewarded, given free meals for life, like an Olympic hero." They are not amused, so they choose execution. Death by hemlock. Bitter and fast. Even then, he doesn't beg, doesn't run, doesn't rage. He calmly explains why he's not afraid to die. Maybe death is just a long, peaceful sleep. And after all, even kings would give up their riches to have one of those. And if not, if it's an afterlife, well, imagine the conversations. You will get to ask questions forever. To Orpheus, to Homer, to every dead soul who ever claimed to know something. Tell me that's not a dream. His final words to the jury: "No evil can happen to a good man, either in life or after death." And then he drinks the poison. Calmly, deliberately, no fear. Because for Socrates, truth was more important than survival. And thinking, real, uncomfortable, bone-deep thinking, was worth dying for. Maybe wisdom isn't about knowing stuff. Maybe it's about knowing you don't. And still having the guts to say that loudly, in a room full of people who could end you for it. Maybe we're all just trying to be the gadfly, asking the questions no one wants to hear. And maybe if the world ever tries to shut you up, that's how you know. You're finally saying something real.